What's up YouTube? My name's Kenneth and it's time for another Twistypuzzle unboxing.
Here's the box. I got it from efforts.com, and as always I'm excited to get in it. This one came in about 2.5 weeks or so, which is okay, not too bad. And what do we have here? We have the Curvy Copter from TomZ. And here it is. This is the Curvy Copter by TomZ. This one came from efforts.com, and it's a variation on the helicopter cube by Cohen. And TomZ made this about a year ago, and you could buy it on Shapeways, which was 3D printed, but it now is being mass produced by Efforts. And the one difference between this Curvy Copter and the helicopter cube is these deeper cuts make these edge pieces, or I don't know if they're edge pieces, but these pieces are now visible. So on here you can see the piece is hidden. It's right here. But on the Curvy Copter it has an orientation, so I believe it changes the way you solve this puzzle. And the helicopter cube was already hard to solve, so I'm assuming this will be even a little harder. Now I made my own solution for the helicopter cube, and I've forgotten it. It's been a long time since I've solved the helicopter cube. I did have a full solution that included the jumbling moves, but hopefully I'll be able to remember it for the Curvy Copter. Now I can tell right out of the box that this turns really nice. It turns much better than I expected. I would say it turns better than the helicopter cube. The helicopter cube doesn't turn poorly, but it's a little stiff. This one wants to move a little better. Let's see how it compares to a Rubik's Cube, and it is the exact same size as you'd expect. It is the normal color scheme: red opposite orange, white opposite yellow, blue opposite green, and red, white, blue. So just like the helicopter cube, this puzzle also jumbles. Let's see if I can make it jumble. Yep. Now jumbling causes it to bandage itself, whereas shapeshifting doesn't cause bandaging. Jumbling does cause bandaging, and so now that I have jumbled it a little bit, now this side won't turn anymore. So it really confuses things. I really like the shape of this puzzle. I like the symmetries. I think it's a pretty nice looking puzzle. I think it looks nicer than its counterpart. Tom Van and Zanden did a very good job with this puzzle. I really like it. I think it looks great. TomZ does have his own YouTube channel, so you should definitely check him out. I am now going to scramble this puzzle and see what it looks like all messed up. I'm only going to do these type of moves first, see if I can solve it like that. Then once I can solve it this way, I will do the jumbling moves, and when you do the jumbling moves it makes it harder to solve, and that's because these pieces here have an orbit in which they can go in. This piece can never go here. This green piece will never be here. No matter how you turn it, it will never be up here. But if you do the jumbling moves, you can get it there. So if you never jumble it and you only do these full turns like this, it's actually a lot easier to solve. So I'm going to first try to remember how to solve it like this, and once I remember my solution, then I will try to do jumbling moves. But for now, I'm only going to do these easier moves. And I really like it. I think it looks really good. If you're choosing between the helicopter cube and the Curvy Copter, I think you would go Curvy Copter every time. It looks so much nicer, and really I think it moves better. I like it. I like the way it moves. It doesn't really cut corners. You have to make sure it's aligned before you can turn another side, but once it is aligned, the movement is very smooth without lubrication, and with lubrication it will probably be even better. Well, that's the first mishap. It just popped a piece. I always have a mishap on an unboxing. How many fails have I had in previous unboxing videos where I just want to play with it and things like this happen? Now I hope that's the correct orientation. I don't know if that will cause problems later on, but I guess we'll find out. Well, that's pretty good for now. It's all scrambled up. I'm going to see if I can remember how to solve this thing, and I'll get back to you guys. Now I'll show you how to take this thing apart. What you do first is you put it in its jumbling move, so you get it to jumble, And then you want to grab this, in this case it's the blue triangle here. You want to put it right in between my two fingers, right in the middle, and you grab it from under here and you push it up. And if you can't push it up, slide it along the way. There's only one spot where it'll want to pop off. So you start pushing it up here, you slide it a little bit. Oh, I found the spot first try. And it comes right out. You can then get the other pieces out as well. Here's a quick tip for helping lubricate your puzzle. A lot of times people will use silicone lubricant, and that's what I use. If you spray silicone inside of it, it'll get really stiff all of a sudden, and that's because the silicone has to dry. And if it's still wet, it will become hard to turn. So what you can do to help dry the pieces, a lot of times you take the puzzle all the way apart and you have to wait and let it dry. But I found that this canned air works really well at helping dry the pieces out from inside. So what you do is you make a hole big enough for the straw and spray. It'll blow air into your puzzle and help dry it out quicker. So it's been a few days and I was able to solve the Curvy Copter. Now, I did not remember the algorithms I came up with for the helicopter cube, so I had to re-come up with brand new ones for the Curvy Copter. Now my solution for both puzzles is much more robust than it ever has been. Before, when I was solving the helicopter cube, I was able to solve it with Jumbling, but there were many cases where it took me a long time to figure out how to solve. Now all those cases I have down, so all these weird positions Jumbling will get you, I can solve every time. So because my solution is much more robust, I think now I will share it with everybody and make a tutorial on how to solve these puzzles both with and without Jumbling. There was something interesting I noticed about these center edge pieces when I was solving this puzzle. At first I thought these center edge pieces would make the Curvy Copter harder to solve than the helicopter cube, but in fact these center edge pieces make it a little easier to solve than the helicopter cube. And the reason that is these center edge pieces act as a road map for this puzzle. We know that this side will be orange because these four center edge pieces have orange. It's the same thing with the Rubik's Cube. We know that this side will be orange because the center is orange. Now, when there is no center on a Rubik's Cube, you have a void cube. And the void cube is slightly harder than the Rubik's Cube, and that's because there's a parity you might run into with the void cube. Now, there's also a parity for the helicopter cube. It's not the exact same as the Rubik's Cube one, but you might get into a position where only two corners need to switch, and you would never run into that position with a Curvy Copter. So these edge pieces actually do make it a tiny bit easier to solve than the helicopter cube. Another thing to remember about these center edge pieces is that if one pops out, you do need to make sure it's put in correctly, because if it's not put in the same orientation, your puzzle will become unsolvable. I highly recommend the Curvy Copter. I think it's a very fun puzzle. It's probably the most fun puzzle I've played with in a very long time. I really enjoy solving the puzzle. Most puzzles I just enjoy figuring out how to solve, but this one is actually fun to solve. For example, the 7x7 for me is not all that much fun to solve because it's not much different than the 5x5. This one, every part of the solution is fun for me. From the jumbled state to trying to get it to a cube, and then step 2, 3, each step is kind of fun. So I do like this puzzle. I highly recommend it. I really think if you're just wondering whether you want to buy this, I think you should go ahead and get it, because for me it was definitely a fun puzzle. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed my unboxing and first thoughts of the Curvy Copter. I do come out with new videos every other weekend, so be sure to be subscribed so you're notified when the next video comes out. Next video will be on how to solve the Curvy Copter, and in between then I'll also have a solved video of this puzzle. If you like this video, hit the like button, and I hope you guys have a great day.